Video is going to be the basic navigation of Mac OS, which comes with all of our laptops and our desktop computers. I will show off some basic navigations and some of the settings that I think everybody should know. With that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. So the very first menu we're going to go to and talk about is one of the most important menus in my opinion. It is the Apple menu in the top left-hand corner of the screen. It actually has a little picture of an apple up there. When you click on that, I'm going to cover some of these basic options inside here that I think is important. The very first one down, called About This Mac, will actually bring open a window with some really important information. One, it tells you what system software you have on the computer, which is really good to know as far as questions from others, what software you can run. Some of the other options inside here will tell you which device you have, the speed of your computer, and then even the serial number, which could come in quite handy for warranty work and many other areas. There is other options along the list here. The second most important one is storage. Our hard drive in our desktops and laptops have a certain capacity, and this shows you how much is available of your maximum storage. In my scenario, I have 121 gigabytes for my capacity, and currently I have 66 gigabytes available of my storage. There is a little kind of color grid that's supposed to show you some of the usage. So we can go into iCloud Drive, the applications I have. If you really want to get a breakdown, I tell everyone I don't necessarily rely on this. The actual numbers above are always very accurate, and I would go with that. Some of the other options up here that in my opinion aren't as important. The support button will get you options to a digital version of a manual. Under the service option, it talks about Apple Care and where you can go to check your coverage and status, repair options. So we're going to go ahead and close this window. So that was under the Apple menu and About This Mac. Next one down is System Preferences. System Preferences is where we go to do stuff like change our screensaver and our background, how fast our mouse moves across the screen. This is one of those areas I recommend coming in here and kind of playing with. You can't really hurt anything, which is great. Desktop and screensaver gives you options in here to make this background over here a solid color. You can come in here and choose some of the standard built-in ones, so you get to kind of customize your computer however you see fit. The screensaver option in the middle up on the top will give you options to basically draw stuff on the display when you haven't been using it for X amount of time. In this case down here in the bottom left, I have it set for 10 minutes. Hitting the button up on the top left to go back a page. Another option, trackpad or mouse, depending on what you happen to be using. Mine is a trackpad. I will basically get previews of everything my trackpad is capable of doing. And just by kind of taking my mouse cursor and laying it on it, I don't even have to click on it, will show me a preview of everything I can do. Under point and click, they have options. Under more gestures and zoom. Under point and click, I do recommend maybe taking a look at the tracking speed. That is how fast this mouse moves across the display. Some people like it blazing fast, other people like to slow it down some. We'll hit the back menu again in the top left. That is the basic usage inside of here. You can come and add a new printer if you get one. Tell it how fast you want your screen to go black and save battery power. We're going to go ahead and go to the top left, a red little stop sign up there where that closes that window. Back up to the Apple menu. Some of the other ones in here, sleep, restart, and shutdown. Sleep temporarily puts this in kind of a nap. You can open your display back up, you can hit a key and it wakes up and it's ready to go. Restarting the computer basically restarts the system software, boots all the way back over again and brings you back to your desktop. And then last but not least, shutdown. If you're not going to use your computer for an extended period of time, this will power your device all the way off. The next time around, you have to turn it back on and wait for it to start up. Up in the top right-hand corner, your menu will vary and look different than mine more than likely, but the things I'm going to talk about should be up here. Some of the basic stuff, the little wireless symbol looks like a little sonar signal. Will show us any wireless networks that are within range or ones we can connect to. If it has a little padlock on the side, it means you're going to need a password you have to type in order to get on the network connection. There are everything from public networks to private networks. If you're connecting at home, you really want to pay attention to the name. In our case here, our free one that we provide but still require a password is called CityMac Free Wi-Fi. Some of the other options up here are our date and time. If you have more than one user, it may say a specific name up here. The little magnifying glass is called Spotlight. Really simple. You click on that, and now you can type in anything you like, and it will search your entire computer for it. So if I started to type in CAL, the calculator is going to be the first one that pops up. If I go back and I type in Bill, it's going to start bringing up my contacts that happen to have Bill Smith inside here. Under definition, there's a Bill. If there's a folder with Bill in it, it's going to show those as well. So that was some of the menu bar over to the right-hand side. The very last one we're going to talk about is this little guy right here. You may recognize the symbol. This is the Siri symbol, our digital voice assistant that's built into our phones, our iPad, and even our Mac. Clicking on that. What's the weather going to be like today?
It's not looking good today.
And
Down
look
to
at
21
that.
degrees.
Northern Michigan, the weather's horrible at the moment, but we get a 5-day forecast. Tells us play by play as far as what temperature it's going to be throughout the day. And you can also ask it to do calculations and many other things. Moving down to the bottom of the screen down here, this is called the dock. And this is where a lot of our favorite applications reside. Apple out of the box puts certain ones down there that they think everyone will use, but you can customize this as well, and I recommend doing so. So a couple things to keep in mind is this guy right down here is called our Finder. That is part of our operating system, everything that makes our computer work. You'll notice there's a little dot right under his face right over here. Anything that shows that little dot underneath it means that program is running. The Finder is always running, and that's one of those you cannot quit because, like I said, it's part of the system. Safari is our web browser. Clicking on that is what allows us to go onto the internet and look at different pages and do searches. At the very top of the screen where the little menu bar is here, I can click on that and I could type in apple.com. And this will take me to Apple's webpage, and I can now scroll up and down. I can click on iPhone or iPad to find out more information. I could come back up here and go ahead and type in Google, and it would take me back to that search page. The other thing that's really nice inside of the Safari web browser is at the very top of the screen up here. If you don't know the website, you can just type in anything you want. So I could do something like CityMac Traverse City. Oh, if I can spell for you guys here. And then just hit the return key. It will bring me to a search, and now I can find out anything that has to do with CityMac Traverse City. So you can see on the right-hand side, it gives us our business, our hours, our phone number. If you search for, a company, it's generally going to give this kind of information, but you could also do something like cooking meatballs, and here we go, and we got a whole bunch of great recipes to look at. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close this window. We're going to hit the little red dot, like the stop sign, like we said earlier. The little yellow dot minimizes the window, so if I click on that, it puts it down here where I can click on it again to bring it back. And the green button, if the window's not very large, hitting that green button will make it so it takes up the entire display. It may look like all the buttons on the top are gone, but if you take your mouse to the top, they come back. And you could always hit your green button again to get back to your normal view. All right, we're going to go ahead and close this window. Something to note, we talked earlier about the Finder always being open because there's a little dot underneath it. So when we were done with Safari, we hit the little red dot to close the window. I did not quit the program altogether, so the easiest way to do that is if you come down to the bottom and just click and hold down on Safari, there is that quit option, and you will notice that dot under Safari goes away. Other icons that are usually down here is our mail, our photos program, which we have a whole video dedicated to, calendar, the app store. You will always have a little trash right over here. If it has anything in the trash, show some little paper floating on top of there. If you don't have anything in your trash, it will look like a trash that is empty. Clicking on any one of these down at the bottom opens that up. There's those system preferences. Since we had just opened it up earlier, it was a recent item down here. I'm going to go ahead and close that window. And we're going to go ahead and click on our calendar. And there we go. I have my calendar that's open. I'm going to go ahead and close that window. And we're going to do the same thing just like I did before, clicking and holding down and choosing quit. There we go. If there's something down here that I don't like in a specific spot, you can click and hold down on one of these and either choose to remove it from the dock, have it open every time when you log into your computer, or you can choose to open. If you do it a little bit faster, if you click and hold down and go to the left or the right, you can actually move this to a different spot. And this would be useful if, say, for instance, you really want Safari and Mail together because we surf the internet and we check our email a lot. If there's something down here you don't like, you can either click and hold down and choose Options, Remove from Dock, and now that icon is no longer down there. So you did not uninstall anything, you never deleted that program all the way, you're just not seeing it down here as a shortcut any longer. At any time, clicking on the little launchpad icon will show every program that you have installed on your computer. So I could come in here and say, well, I actually do want the music app down there. I can click and drag that music icon back down here on the dock if I wanted to. Or if I click on the music icon twice, when it opens up, you have an option where if you click and hold down, and this is usually the easiest way, and go to Options, and just like we did Remove from Dock, I'm going to choose Keep in the Dock. And now, even if I close this window and I quit out of the program, you'll notice the music application stays there because I have it set to stay in the dock. Well, that is it, guys. That's some of the basic usage of the Mac. We do have independent videos where we will talk about photos. We talk about Safari for surfing the internet in much more detail. And we even have a new video about the Apple TV application as well. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you check out some of the other videos.